My boss has been stealing company funds. Hey Reddit, long-time lurker, but first-time poster here. I need some serious advice on a situation that's been causing me massive anxiety for the past few weeks. I've changed some identifying details, but the core story is real. Background: I, 31 million, work for a mid-sized tech company, about 150 employees, as a senior financial analyst. I've been here for 4 years and generally liked my job until recently. My direct boss, let's call him Mark, 48 million, is the CFO and has been with the company for nearly a decade. He's well respected, charismatic, and has always been a decent boss to me, giving me good performance reviews, reasonable raises, and generally letting me work independently. The company has been doing well overall, though, like many tech firms, we had a round of layoffs last year, about 15% of staff. Since then, everyone's been working overtime to pick up the slack, including our finance team, which was reduced from 8 people to 6. How it started. About 2 months ago, I was assigned to conduct a comprehensive audit of our departmental budgets for the past year, standard procedure to help with planning for the next fiscal year. Because of the staffing cuts, I ended up handling areas that were normally outside my scope, including executive expenses and our company's charitable foundation fund, which Mark directly oversees. At first, everything seemed routine. I was working late one night, cross-referencing expense reports with our bank records, when I noticed something odd. A recurring monthly transfer from our charitable foundation account to an LLC I didn't recognize. The transfers were consistent, $15,000 on the 15th of each month, dating back about 18 months, totaling around $270,000. This struck me as strange because I was familiar with all our official charity partners, and this LLC wasn't one of them. The transfers were happening like clockwork, unlike our usual charity disbursements, which vary based on specific initiatives. The amount was suspiciously consistent, when our other charitable contributions fluctuate. The investigation. My curiosity piqued, I did some discreet digging. I checked our vendor database, nothing. I searched our contracts repository, nothing. I looked through board meeting minutes where charitable initiatives are typically approved, no mention of this LLC. Using public records, just basic Secretary of State business searches, I found that the LLC was registered about 2 years ago with a residential address. Google Maps showed it was a high-end house in an expensive suburb. The registered agent was listed as M. Wilson Consulting. It took me a few days to connect the dots, but eventually I realized that Mark's full name is Mark Wilson. The house was his personal residence. I recognized it from a team barbecue he hosted last summer. My stomach dropped. I double and triple checked everything, hoping I was making a mistake. But the evidence was clear. Mark had set up an LLC with himself as the only member and was transferring $15,000 monthly from our charitable foundation to his personal business. The deeper I dug. Once I saw the pattern, I expanded my search. I found several other concerning transactions, inflated expense reports with receipts from restaurants that, when I called to verify, had no record of the supposed business meetings, convention registrations paid for, but never attended. Consulting fees to other vague entities that I couldn't verify provided any actual services. All told, I estimate he's diverted at least $450,000 over the past 2 years, not counting the questionable expense reports. The most disturbing part: last year's layoffs were supposedly due to budget constraints and necessary cost-cutting measures. People lost their jobs while Mark was apparently siphoning funds. Where I am now. I've documented everything meticulously. Screenshots, spreadsheets, tracking the suspicious transactions, copies of the public records for the LLC, everything. I've been careful to work on this only from my personal laptop and outside office hours. But I'm completely stuck on what to do next. The obvious answer is to report this to someone, but Mark is the CFO. He's the head of the finance department, so there's no one above him except the CEO. The CEO and Mark are longtime friends who worked together at a previous company. We don't have an anonymous whistleblower system in place. Our HR director reports directly to Mark. I'm legitimately afraid for my job if I report this and it somehow gets back to Mark before action is taken. I have a mortgage and a baby on the way. My wife is due in 3 months and is currently on unpaid maternity leave from her teaching job. But I also can't just ignore what I've found. It's not just unethical, it's illegal. And thinking about all the people who were laid off while he was stealing makes my blood boil. The questions: who do I take this to? The CEO directly? The board of directors? An outside agency? How do I protect myself in the process? What kind of evidence should I present? And in what format? Should I consult a lawyer before doing anything? Could I potentially be implicated for not reporting this immediately upon discovery? I haven't told anyone about this yet, not even my wife, because I don't want her stressing about this during her pregnancy. I feel like I'm carrying this massive secret and I'm constantly anxious that Mark will somehow discover I'm onto him. Any advice from people who have navigated whistleblowing or reported executive misconduct would be incredibly helpful right now. TLDR. I discovered my boss, the CFO, has been stealing company money through fake charities and false expenses. I have solid proof, but don't know how to report it without risking my job and potentially facing retaliation. Edit 1, 12 hours later. Wow, I didn't expect this to blow up overnight. Thank you all for the advice and support. To address some common questions, just suggestions. Many of you are suggesting I consult a lawyer first. This seems to be the consensus, and I've reached out to schedule a consultation with an employment attorney tomorrow. Several people asked why I don't go to the police directly. From what I understand, this would likely be considered a white-collar crime that would be investigated by specialized units, not regular police. I'm worried about going external before exploring internal options, but I'll discuss this with the lawyer. For those asking about our company structure, we do have a board of directors, 7 members, including the CEO and CFO. There's an audit committee, but Mark effectively controls what information they see. About documentation. Yes, I've been extremely careful. I've only accessed information I'm authorized to see as part of my regular duties. I've made copies using my personal devices outside of work hours, and everything is stored on an encrypted drive that doesn't connect to any company systems. Someone asked if the charity is real. Yes, our company's foundation is legitimate and does actual charitable work. The issue is that some of the money is being diverted before it reaches the intended recipients. Edit 2, 36 hours later. Quick update before I meet with the lawyer. I did some additional research last night and discovered something concerning. The company's D&O insurance policy was modified last year. The new policy has stronger protections against financial malfeasance claims and a much higher coverage limit. Mark would have been the one to negotiate this change. It feels like he might have been preparing for the possibility of being caught. I also found out our company has a relationship with a Big Four accounting firm that does our annual audit. I'm wondering if I should consider reaching out to them instead of internal reporting. I'll ask the lawyer about this option. Thank you all again for the support and advice. This has been the most stressful situation of my professional life, but your comments have helped me feel less alone in dealing with it. I'll update again after speaking with the attorney.